Coming off our first loss of the season, the Dragons look to rebound here on Sunday Night Football against my beloved Detroit Lions. The Dragons currently sit at 3-1-1, having split our first two divisional games of the year, beating the Niners and losing to Seattle on the road 32-38, despite an impressive fourth quarter comeback where we were down by 3 scores with just minutes left, and we ended up getting the ball with a chance to win. Albeit with 5 seconds just to throw up a Hail Mary, but we got the ball nonetheless, and that brings us into another primetime game, Sunday Night Football against the 2-3 Lions, who have gotten off to kind of a slow start after winning the NFC North last season. Before we get started, though, we've got our first prospect profile of the year. We're going to be going over the quarterbacks in the 2028 NFL Draft. And obviously, our roster is pretty good at quarterback. Puma Whitlock is one of the best starting QBs in the league, and Chance Matsumolo is now one of the best backup QBs in the league. But we also have to be mindful that it wouldn't hurt to eventually add another to the roster. Both of these guys are going to have their contracts expire after next year. Puma's going to be on the 5th-year option next season, making over $60 million, and his eventual extension, he'll likely be making even more than that per year. Because of that, we're going to have to cut costs, and players like Chance Matsumolo may not be able to get extensions, especially considering Matsumolo's probably going to get a pretty sizable deal, being that he showed a lot last year as a backup, winning a playoff game and performing pretty well. Overall, I think this quarterback class is pretty interesting. It's not loaded per se like seasons 1, 2, or even 4. I think it's also a lot better, though, than season 3. I think it's kind of that middle ground. In terms of the QB class last year, we had 2 guys, Ty Poland with the Steelers and Tyler Nguyen with the Seahawks, win their battles in camp and be the starters. Fittingly, those are the only 2 teams that are 5-0 right now. Nuovo Calciatore, the 4th rounder for the Vikings, is also starting. That's because Deontay Harris tore his tricep in preseason, and they're 1-4. But Calciatore also didn't win the starting job. He's a backup. He's just playing for injury. The 2 guys who won their starting jobs are undefeated. It's going to be hard to beat that, but there are some good quarterbacks at the top of this draft, and we'll start with Simone Rashid, the 4th out of Georgia. We talked about him a little bit last year, and his stock has continued to grow and grow. He's not some clear number 1 pick or anything, but I think he's really talented. As a runner, tough and physical, reminds me of Cam Newton and Josh Allen. He's not as big, strong, or fast as those guys, but he runs similarly. The arm talent's really good. He can make every throw on the field. He's a little bit inconsistent in the short game, though, but he's got the arm strength, and he's got a super pretty deep ball. Gavin Hennessy, though, out of Alabama, is right up there in QB1 discussions, and I think these 2 guys are the only surefire first-round quarterbacks in the draft. I don't know if Hennessy's physical tools are quite at the level of Rashid's. I do think he's a little bit faster, though, and probably a little bit more explosive as a runner. I don't think he's quite got the arm strength, but I think he is a little bit more accurate and consistent. So it's more so whoever at the top of the draft needs a quarterback, what type of player are they going to prefer? Let's talk about the other 2 guys we looked at last year, and that starts with Aristotle Casablanco out of Colorado, who's currently QB4 in this draft and being looked at as a top 75 pick. 6'4", 233, big arm, impressive movement skills at his size, and I think he could be a really intriguing day 2 pick. Makoa Akana from Hawaii, the lefty, is the other guy we looked at last year, and his stock has taken quite a bit of a nosedive, and it's unclear if he's going to be a top 100 pick right now. Akana was fantastic last year, and he was in contention to be QB3, QB4 in this class, but he's really struggled out the gate this year as a senior. He's got the arm talent, and I think he very well could build his stock back up, but he's been passed up by other quarterbacks in this draft, such as Mordecai Quiver out of the University of South Florida. Quiver's an intriguing player, somebody who I think is really impressive making plays out of structure. From inside 20 yards, he can make about every throw. The deep ball's very inconsistent. He's not much of a vertical field stretcher, but he makes the easy throws. Alessio Armanda out of TCU is another guy who's had a pretty strong season. I think he's a well-rounded prospect, good poise in the pocket, can make plays out of structure. Doesn't have an elite arm, but it's pretty solid. I think looking at the day 3 guys, there's a number of players who could be gems in here. Iskander Landenberg from Michigan is the strongest arm in the entire draft. Charlie Davenport from UCLA is a guy who's really steadily improved in his 3 years as a starter with the Bruins. I think he's one of the more athletic quarterbacks in the draft, and his accuracy has really improved. Dylan Hungley from Clemson's a fun player. Julian Ladosse out of Washington makes more big-time throws than just about anybody in the class, but his lack of consistency has him as a likely 6th to 7th round pick. Even some of the undrafted guys down here I think could be pretty good. Leonard Masaki from Temple I think is a fun player. Bryshon Fuller at Ohio State, first-year starter, upside's really impressive. Quincy Mitchell out of Kent State, probably the most dynamic quarterback in the class as a runner. I'm curious to see if scouts want to try him out at other positions in the NFL. Tim Kirsten from UTSA, when healthy, is one of the better passers in the class. Jake Hunter from Rutgers, undersized but dynamic as a thrower and as a runner. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these day 3 or even undrafted guys outperform some of the higher graded quarterbacks in the draft. So let's look at our opponent now, the Lions, who are 2-3 in the NFC North. Probably going to be a three-way race with Chicago and Green Bay. I think the Lions are better than both of those teams, but they have lost 3 in a row. They haven't won a game since week 2, and I think because of that, they're coming into this game with a chip on their shoulder. They've got a lot to prove. They don't want to lose 4 in a row, led by third-year quarterback Amari August. And when he was drafted, I feel like it was looked at as kind of the bad pick, but he's been a really good player. He was super solid last year. He's been even better this year. He's definitely not the reason why the Lions have lost 3 in a row, and I expect him to get a handsome extension down the line. He's a really, really good player. The Lions have a solid group of skill guys with Jahmyr Gibbs and Elijah Sutton out of the backfield. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Williams, Traylon Burks, Virgil Deese, and Dalton Kincaid lead the way as the pass catchers. Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow anchor a strong offensive line. They've got a really good pass rush duo off the edge with Chase Young and Aiden Hutchinson. The secondary's really good as well with Jamel Dean, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Micaiah Speck, and Brian Branch. Of course, our secondary is going into this game very depleted. We're still going to be without Jeff Okudah and Cam Lucifer again. Last week we started Ryan Nada, the rookie at corner. Did not work out. Today we're going to try Jalen Bourgeois, but if he struggles, we will not be afraid to go with somebody else, such as Connor Miller Sr., Trey Flynn, or Ryan Dawkins. So here we are into Week 6, Sunday Night Football in St. Louis. Couple of fun young quarterbacks squaring off as Puma Whitlock leads the Dragons to battle against Amari August of the Detroit Lions. The Lions are looking to avenge their 3-game losing streak. The Dragons, meanwhile, looking to avoid a losing streak after losing their first game of the season a week ago, again on Sunday Night Football against Seattle. The Lions played on Monday night last week against Baltimore, so they're coming off a short week, which could prove to be an advantage for the Dragons, who will start on offense from the 50. Puma alone in the backfield, 5-wide set as he scrambles to the right side. Looking to run with it. He's got some room and is out of bounds for a gain of around 12. Puma showing off his dynamic ability on the ground. And of course, we know what he can do as a passer, having won the NFC Offensive Player of the Week in the loss against Seattle as he goes up the middle for Arturo Modelo, who has it to the 18-yard line. Modelo has somehow been even better than he was last year. He has close to 100 more receiving yards than second place, and we're only in Week 6. Milan Santa, the rookie, is in for his second career rushing touchdown. And so the Dragons march all the way down the field, quickly get in the end zone. Picture-perfect start on offense as St. Louis leads 7-0. Here's the Lions with it, 3rd and 8. August looks to throw it. Looking downfield, doink, incomplete. That was right off of Traylon Burks' helmet. That was a really good throw. He just didn't know the ball was coming. And the Dragons get it quickly off the stop as Juskins loses 3. Aiden Hutchinson, the Michigan Wolverine, brings him down. 3rd and 4 now. Puma still in the zone. Looking to run with it again. Scrambles to the right side, and he gets the first down. Wrapped up by the linebacker Vernon Rudisale, former top 5 pick, who's got full responsibility as the Mike linebacker today with Jack Campbell out. 2nd and 3. Short throw is caught by Griffin Weaver, who takes it to the 40. Puma Whitlock is a perfect 6 of 6 with 64 yards. Certainly a contrary to the first half last week, where he had 23 passing yards with like 5 seconds left in the half. Here's Juskins left side. Breaks all the big run to the 27. Modelo's a little bit banged up. Shouldn't be anything serious, though. Through the first 7.5 minutes, this has been dominance from the St. Louis Dragons, who look incredible on both sides of the ball so far. Talk about a wake-up call after the loss last week. 3rd and 10. Puma goes short for Milan Santa, who only gets 3. Nice tackle there by Vernon Rudy Sale once again. And so the Lions defense finally makes a play that'll bring out the field goal unit. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, splits the uprights from 40. Dicker had a shaky game last week, missed multiple extra points against Seattle, but he makes that one look easy, and the Dragons add to their lead. It's 10-0. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs up the middle with the first down of the day for the Lions as he gets around 14 yards. David Montgomery, of course, is gone. Remember, he used to play for us for a very short time. This is now pretty much fully Jahmyr Gibbs' backfield. First down. Nice grab by Mike Williams to the 47. I think August really needs to look Williams' way. We saw what DK Metcalf did last week against these inexperienced corners, and Mike Williams has that same size and physicality on the outside. Nice play after the catch to the 28. That's Treylon Burks who makes the play. The Lions' offense was off to an awfully slow start, but they're really starting to play well into the second quarter. Up the middle, the Sun God, Amon-Ra St. Brown, brings it to the 6-yard line, and the Lions are marching on the doorstep of the end zone as they look to put themselves back into the game. First and goal. From the 6, August hands it off to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got wide open room, and he is in for the score as Devontae Wyatt is dinged up. That's not good. So now it is 10-7. Detroit appears to be back in the game. The Dragons' offense has been awfully good today, but Isaiah Likely is going backwards for a loss of 2. Miscommunication there between Puma and Likely as Jamel Dean, the veteran corner, brings him down. 3rd and 6 at midfield. Puma looking to go up the middle, and he cannot. Eric Abodije, the former second-rounder out of West Virginia, is there with the sack. It looked like another defender was there as well. That'll force a punt. Lions with it. Amari August on the option, loses 3. Simeon Bonnet smothers him in the backfield. Of course, it's been an underwhelming season for Bonnet as a pass rusher. He only has 2 sacks, but he has been really good in the run game. 3rd and 13, August on the screen. It's incomplete for St. Brown. Good pass rush, good coverage, and the Dragons get another stop. Both defenses are starting to look good. Back-to-back stops as the Dragons have it back. Play action. Puma under pressure. He is thrown down to the ground by Jalen Butler for a loss of around 6 or 7. 3rd and long now for the Dragons. Puma looks to throw it. Clean pocket. Nobody's open, so he's going to send a rocket down the field for Modelo, and it's broken up. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Kirby Joseph were there in double coverage. Another stop for the Dragons, who have only scored 3 points over their last 3 drives after the opening touchdown, as Gibbs jukes away from Devin White with a 1st and more. Another juke, and Jahmyr Gibbs gets it to the 37-yard line. There are not many guys in the league who are more dynamic and explosive than Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he is a special playmaker. 3rd and 8, play action. August looks to throw it, looking for the sideline, and it's overthrown as he's looking for the tight end, Dalton Kincaid, replacing Sam Laporta, who signed with the Packers. And that sentence alone makes me want to throw up. The idea of Sam Laporta ever on that team makes me sad. 3rd and 4, Puma misfires for his tight end, Isaiah Likely. Puma started the game off 6 of 6 with like 65 yards. Since then, he's 2 for 7 with like 0 yards. Lions back with it, up the middle. Jahmyr Gibbs with another first down run as he brings it to the 49-yard line. The Dragons' run defense has been one of the best in the league, and they are getting carved up right now. 66 yards on just 7 carries for Jahmyr Gibbs, who gets it back and is going backwards. B.J. Ojulari, good to have him back in the lineup. He's missed the last 3 games with injury. 3rd and 7, August looks downfield for Amon-Ra St. Brown, who brings it to the 27-yard line. Strong first half for Amon-Ra. He's got 4 catches for over 50 yards. Clock is ticking. Under 20 to go. 2nd and 3. Up the middle. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Lions will take the lead 14-10. St. Louis outscored Detroit 10-0 in the first, but the Lions have outscored the Dragons 14-0 here in the second. Dragons still have a few seconds left as here's Jamison Williams with room, jukes away from a defender. He's wrapped up at the 41-yard line with 1 second left. That's enough time for the Dragons to look to kick a quick field goal or go for a Hail Mary. But realistically, the field goal is more likely, even though it is a long one. 58-yarder for Dicker. It's going to be close. It is short. That's what she said. And that'll wrap up the first half. 14-10. The first quarter was all about the Dragons. The second quarter was all about the Lions. Detroit's got all the momentum right now, and they start with the ball in the third quarter, which is not good. Our run defense has been bad, and Amari August is really starting to heat up. He's been impressive. Let's take a look at our halftime report, going over some of the games that already happened today. We will start in Carolina. The defending NFC champion Panthers have gotten off to kind of a slow start this year, but they beat Washington 31-17 with a big game from wide receiver Matthias Abanda, who's been probably the second best receiver in the league this year after Arturo Modelo. Low-scoring game here in Foxborough between two teams in the AFC who have high heights. It's the Dolphins, who beat New England 13-7. The Monday night game is between the Vikings and the Rams. As for our other divisional foes, San Fran lost, Seattle won. The Seahawks are now 6-0. The Steelers, for what it's worth, are also 6-0, and we get to play Pittsburgh next week. I want to see us win the game in the air. Need to see more from the passing game. We've not been able to throw the ball at all in the second quarter. And then defensively, yes, Jahmyr Gibbs has been great, but Amari August is really starting to heat up, and we've got to be able to stop him, especially because Jahmyr Gibbs is hurt. He takes a hard hit from Simeon Bonnet, and it looks like he will be going to the locker room and is going to be out for the rest of the game. Elijah Sutton will be the running back for the rest of the day. Read option on 3rd and 1. August does not get it. Simeon Bonnet is there to bring him down. Back-to-back big plays in run defense from Bonnet. Again, it hasn't been there as a pass rusher, but in the run game, he's been fantastic. Jack Fox with the punt, and that is a beauty. What a punt by the best punter in the National Football League, who pins the Dragons back deep at the 1. Now they have it at the 6, 2nd and 5, up the middle. Darwin Juskins with the first down. So if nothing else, St. Louis gets out of safety territory, which is a win, and now the offense can actually look to move the ball down the field. 2nd and 1 from the 22. The Dragons have not scored since the first quarter. Puma Whitlock under a ton of pressure on the run with a great throw for Isaiah Likely, who brings it to the 34-yard line, and that will likely move the chains. 3rd and 10. Puma looks to throw it again. Backs up in the pocket. He's got a few open men. Arturo Modelo was not one of them, but he comes down with an impressive grab. Modelo's had some really nice catches today. Of course, hands have been the one issue with him throughout his career, but they've been awfully good in this game. It's going to be an RPO for J-Mo. Jamison Williams, the former Lion, brings it to the 24. And for the first time in a while, the offense looks good. 2nd and 7 from the 20. Play action. Puma under pressure. Heaves it up for the end zone. It's caught for a score. It's Modelo time. Arturo Modelo with another score as he's able to haul in the jump ball. Contested catches are not Modelo's strong suit at all. He's not a physical receiver who generally high points the ball over defensive backs, but he does that here, putting the corner on a poster. And it is now 16-14, and unfortunately, it will stay that way. Cameron Dicker wide left again. That's the 3rd time in the last 2 weeks. What's going on with him? So it'll remain a 2-point game. Lions back with it. Amari August under pressure. Has some room to the left with a 1st and more as he's wrapped up near the 50 by Owen Popo. Amari August is showing off his great ability as a runner. He did it as a 3-year starter at USC. And, of course, it is carried over to the NFL as he goes to the other side with another read option. And he gets another first down wrapped up by Malik Hooker at the 42. The Lions' offense has been inconsistent throughout the day, but right now they're looking good despite missing their best weapon other than Amon-Ra in Jahmyr Gibbs. The backup for Gibbs, Elijah Sutton, takes it the distance on a halfback wheel route. And the Lions are back on top. Nobody was covering Sutton. There was no safety back deep on the left side of the field either, and that is a recipe for disaster. Tornado Davis loses 3, wrapped up by Aiden Hutchinson, as that'll wrap up the 3rd, 21-16. Lions lead into the 4th. 3rd and 15, it's a screen for Milan Santa, who does not get the first down. Screens have worked really well with Santa this year, so we were hoping for a big play. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen, and that's going to force a punt as the Lions get it back. If they can find the end zone, make it a 2-score game, they can put themselves in a great spot. As August goes empty, up the middle, it's Mike Williams in the slot, who gains around 17 yards. The Lions have receivers who are flexible inside and out, and they can move these guys pretty much wherever they like, and they can switch alignments as they please. August goes short. Mike Williams again out of bounds. Pushed down by Trenton Simpson, but he brings it to the 39. After a false start, the Lions move back 5 yards, 1st and 15. August up the middle. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God, who gains around 17. And the passing game just looks so fluid right now for Detroit. And again, us not having our top 2 corners is proven to be an issue once more. Amon-Ra St. Brown again to the 13-yard line, toying with dudes at this point. He's got to be nearing the century mark in yards. 3rd and 1, 5.5 to go. Short throw for Amon-Ra again. Doesn't get the touchdown, but he does get the first, bringing it to the 1. August is 19 of 23. Unbelievable efficiency as he hands it off to Elijah Sutton, who's in for the score, his 2nd of the day. And the Lions lead by multiple possessions, 28-16 with around 5 minutes to go. And the Dragons offense is pretty much hanging on by a thread right now. They need to score, and they need to do it quick. Puma Whitlock under pressure, chased from behind and sacked for a loss of really not much. 3rd and 10 now. Puma looking. He's got Likely, and they're going to give him the first down. Got to keep it moving, though. No huddle. 4 minutes to go. Puma rolls right. Wide open man. It's Griffin Weaver the third, who brings it to the 30-yard line. Gain of 35 for Weaver. And the Dragons get to not only get the first down, but they stop the clock at 4:02. Puma in the zone, goes short for Jamison Williams. He's got the first of the 19. Nice tackle, though, to keep him in bounds by Micaiah Speck. 1st and 10. Puma looking for Modelo. He's got it inside the 5. The offense is moving unbelievably quick and efficiently. Can they finish it off with a touchdown? Yes, they do. Isaiah Likely is in for a score. Good job there by Puma on the run. Under pressure, doesn't matter. He delivers, and it is a one-score game, 28-23. Lions are chewing some clock as they have a big 3rd down at the 2-minute warning, and Elijah Sutton gets the first. Big conversion for the Lions, and the Dragons are going to start using their timeouts. 1:57 now to go at the 37. Sutton with it. He gets a big first down to around midfield. And now the Dragons call timeout number 2, and the Lions are this close to icing the game. Another first down would do it. 2nd and 7. Sutton does get the first down and more. The Dragons are going to let him score. The only way we can theoretically come back is letting Elijah Sutton get the touchdown. That's his 3rd, by the way, of the half. A hat trick for Elijah Sutton, and it's 35-23. The Dragons need a touchdown, an onside kick, and a touchdown. Well, here's the first score. Jamison Williams takes it 75 to the crib, and the former Lion is in with a touchdown. Things didn't really work out for J-Mo in Detroit, but he's showing the Lions what they missed out on. He's recorded 1,000 yards in each of the past 2 seasons with us, looking to do it again this year as the onside kick is picked up by Treylon Burks, and that will do it. The St. Louis Dragons have lost 2 games in a row, back-to-back Sunday night defeats. Last week it was Seattle. Today it's at home against the Detroit Lions, who win their first game since week 2 and improved to 3-3, while we fall to 3-2-1. We've only won 1 game since week 2. That's the same as the Lions, and we talked about how cold they are. We're cold now too. Puma Whitlock for a 2nd week in a row was phenomenal. He was absolutely not the reason why we lost. He kept us in it the entire way. Amari August, though, was also brilliant. 83% completion percentage. I think it was the defense who lost this game. Jahmyr Gibbs was dominant. Elijah Sutton got a lot of those yards on the run at the end, but he was dominant. Amon-Ra St. Brown was really good. So was Modelo and J-Mo. And then defensively, just not good. No sacks, no pressure. Simeon Bonnet was good in the run game. He also got injured, though, right at the end. The secondary, again, was really not good. Jeff Okudah and Cam Lucifer have proven to be 2 of the most important players on this team, clearly. So we have 2 new injuries. The first one, Simeon Bonnet, dislocated elbow. He got that injury on the last defensive play of the game, the big touchdown by Sutton. He's going to miss the next 2 weeks, which is unfortunate. Even though he hasn't had the year that he was hoping for in a contract year, he's still a big loss. And then Jabril Fofana tore his labrum. That's usually not a 4-week injury. And when it happened in the game right at the beginning, it said he would be out for the year. So I can't help but feel like we just dodged a major bullet. While Bonnett's injury happened on the last defensive play of the game, Fofana's ironically happened on the first. Of course, the thing with Fofana this year has been the splash plays with the 3 interceptions, but he still plays close to 50% of the snaps, and that means we're going to need more out of Owen Popo, Devin White, Trenton Simpson. We might even see the rookie Penultimo Barahona as well. As we take a look at the scores, we already saw most of these already, other than the Monday night game, which unfortunately was run by the Rams. Players of the week, Puma Whitlock, again, back-to-back weeks he's done so, and ironically, both of those games were losses. He's joined by Josh Allen, Josh Sweat, and Darren Hamilton. That brings us into week 7. The 6-0 Pittsburgh Steelers on the road are next up. Our Dragons have lost 2 in a row. Defensively, we've really struggled, and we're playing against arguably the best team in the NFL right now. If we lose this game and lose another one, fall to 500, things could get really dicey for us. That's going to wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.